Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you are, folks. I hope everybody is safe, healthy, happy. Okay, so we have another exciting webinar for you today from a young man, Aziz. As you can see from the screen, he's a leader, a young leader, which is the future of the world. So there's a chance for him to tell us a little bit about various things that he's been involved with. The announcement that's sent out has all the details. He's going to talk about upskilling and engaging the global engineering students more deeply in our IFEES GEDC global activities. And you can see from the announcement that was sent out that he has been very, very busy already. And he's the leader of education with efforts towards connecting students across the borders He's been involved with international organizations like SPEED, leadership team of SPEED and Global Student Forum, and part of IFEES. And so without much ado, I will hand this over to Aziz. So over to you, Aziz. I'm going to make you the presenter and you just have to click show my screen. So just a second, we will do that.
Thank you so much, dear Krishna.
Sure, go ahead. Click show my screen and please go ahead.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, all set.
Yeah. Thank you so much, dear Krishna, for the fantastic introduction. And hello, everyone. Greetings from to the rest part of the world. So I'm Aziz, here to talk on upskilling and engaging the global engineering students more deeply in IFEES, GEDC, ISEE global activities. So let us start with go with the story flow of how a student and what are the student challenges that he faced in a day-to-day life when starting from his course of getting admission, when he completed his schoolings in higher grads and coming into the undergraduations. He got to get into this admission part, then he has to go for the course fee, then there is a lot of problems in communication, some lack of leadership skills, and then also there is a very big problem that happens in many of the developing countries, is like a lack of getting a qualified faculties on board. Though he crossed all these hurdles and getting into the institution, he also have to check whether that institution has a global exposure and whether that institution is going to give that student a global exposure that he really wants. End of the goal for getting a student to get admission, though he completes his graduates, UG, PGs, and PhDs, his goal is something to get placed in a reputed company or to serve in a reputed organization. This is his end goal. So that becomes his dream. And then we have to check whether he is industry ready or not. So these are the challenges that every students face. IFEES, GEDC, and ISEE, I wish that to commit completely on this path to help the student to be a very good leader in the future days. We all accept there is a change required in the education system everywhere around the globe. You can hear a voice. Yeah, the change is required from the teacher's point of view, from the governors, from the correspondents, from the students, from the parents. Everyone says a comment to us that something is to be changed in this education system. We have to get onto the board with some other aspects. So what is the change? Is that a change from a blackboard to whiteboard and whiteboard to again a smartboard? No, there are a lot many changes that as a real student needs in his day-to-day life. Is like the mindset, the physical resources which he gets, like books, internet sources is available all the day, but is that students are more interested or more busy, or the students spending more of the time to grasp entire book source, book materials, and internet materials into his brain and make it as a structured outcome? That is a question mark. The learning platform which he has, that it's also a question mark. See, in the quarantine days, many colleges and schools in India are suddenly imposing a Google Classrooms, which a student in India has never faced for a continuous of online class. So whether the institution is serving its responsibility to complete the course in a due time, or it's taking a responsibility to transfer the knowledge to the student, there is a very big question mark is happening. The rigid curriculum which every student has to face, yes, it is accepted that he has to learn the basics from the curriculum wise, is like If take an electronics engineer, he studies something from microprocessor, microcontroller. His final year projects in UG level is also on the basis of 8085, which is no more in use for the student. The students should be trained, they should be given the hands-on experience for the emerging technologies so that he will be very ready for the students, very ready for the industry. That is how he will be committed to learn more and deliver it to that. The technology teaching methodologies. We follow many different learning platforms we use daily, different aspects, different gadgets. But what if the learning technologies, learning methodologies, and teaching methodologies is remaining same? There is something to be changed in all these areas. Let us go into the deeper for the task with this webinar. Apart from these programs of students participating in their classroom educations, in their school projects, in their university projects, he or she attends various conferences, seminars, and many events. Even a student get introduced into IFEES through any of this sector, through as a conference, as giving a seminar, or to attend any competitions or events that IFEES or any other professional body is handling with. But many has this question, is this all enough for a student? Is that all getting him a job? Is that all getting her a job? Is that all giving them an immense hands-on experience? Lot many students come completely with the dedication, with the effort to get something from these organizations, to put their efforts and have a hands-on training, to have a dream job with their hands, to get an internship from a reputed company, or to find the 360 angles of engineering opportunities where the student can excel in their real time. If any organization is dedicatedly do that for empowering the student, then there is no doubt that there is going to be a next evaluation to happen. So where this problem starts and where do we want to concentrate initially? Let it be our IFEES community, GEDC and ISEE. It is our goal to reach these higher secondary schools, the teachers, parents, and the students, and have to give them a clear job of all these questions, a proper answer. Why he or she should go for engineering? What is the scope available? What are the opportunities to excel? What is the industry's expectation? What are the global programs available? Unfortunately, many students, after getting enrolled into the engineering or getting enrolled into the universities, they try to find the answer for all these areas. Why I came for studying engineering, what is the scope and what are the opportunities? So then it becomes a delay, the process is getting delayed so that they are not able to make a pathway for their mission. See now, if a student is getting answers for all these and getting into the admission here, then his process will go very smoothly to get here. He will be able to find all the answers. He will be able to find a good structured pathway where he can achieve his mission and vision. So what IFEES, GEDC, and ISEE is committed to do? Many organizations are having this area alone in their conferences. They come a student to publish the international paper with the dream of presenting it to the international delegates, faculties, industries on board. But we should go something different and dedicatedly in a way to go for learn and work on subjects as well. Like if a student is coming into a forum with a dream of publishing a paper, he should be taught initially. He should learn the classic and innovative research methods. Then we should give an opportunity for the student to work on the real-time research projects with that. Then he has to come to this area of publishing papers in the international journals. So assuming our 2020 WEAF conference is to happen in Johannesburg, in Cape Town, South Africa, assume if a student is coming with the dream to publish the paper, it is possible, yes. in different aspects, if we started giving him a way to learn about this classic and innovative research methods, to how to take it further, what are the areas that he has to put his rubrics, what are the areas that he has to concentrate more to make a learning and teaching methods innovatively, and what are the areas that he has to take surveys, what are the areas that he has to work on projects, what are the areas that he has to make prototypes, and what are the areas that he has to test, what are the areas that he has to analyze. If we able to give the scope for learning, working, and publishing area, then we will be able to build a symbiotic relationship between this education and technology for a student to understand more in number, and that will be more impactful. This is how the proposal that we wanted to go for it is like: a student coming with a dream should have a proper planning and proposing with the workshops or conference that IFEES has as a component for the students through student programs in IFEES and GEDC. He will be taught, he will be trained to have a planning and proposing to the committee. Then we will be able to have a governing team to implement that action plan with the proper strategies, whether the student which he proposed the planning and which he proposes the ideas is getting implemented into this platform with a very good sector, whether it is implementing in the right way, what are the areas that faculty community and the corporate community can help the student to make him better understand and mentor him better, and then helping the students to get funds to implement the projects or rewards through the best projects or best ideas. Then if he is recognized properly for the achievements that he had through IFEES awards or IFEES achievement sectors, and then if he gets a proper internship or career opportunities through our forums, the GEDC IFEES forums, that would something which is going excellent beyond the expectation of any student who's coming with an idea to just publish the paper. If a student is coming with the idea to publish paper, and if his career is decided through these forums, then he will be able to pitch something better to this community, have a structured area. So what are the initiatives that we take from ISEE to make this effort possible? With the help of government mentorship from IFEES and GEDC, ISEE initiated a laboratory called ICASLE Research Laboratory, where ICASLE means student in Basque, to work on 4 different areas. Is one, to identify the emerging technologies that brings development to teaching and learning process and designing appropriate learning activities. Then designing and developing an evaluation instruments like analytical rubrics to test the quality of digital learning materials and hardbound resources something like textbooks and gadgets, something, etc. And empowering teachers, students to be more important catalyst for the change in the international and comparative education policies, and building an inclusive and sustainable resilient future by means of having a different efforts of workshops and realistically working towards a sustainable development goals which is proposed by UN. What are the initiatives that we can take on the next step to engage the students and help them to get skill upgraded with these efforts? Like, we can create a global classroom on distinct courses and programs. Well, we all know about this last year's student forum which happened. Many students work on different emerging technologies, but when the students were attracted towards the peace engineering and different courses that is proposed by many of our leaders from IFEES, many students got to know what is the term of peace engineering and what are the ways that one can handle the conflict management skills, and lot many forums, lot many programs through this forums. What if the forums are converted into global classrooms and if the students are engaged completely throughout the year from one forum to the next year's forum? That would be amazing, right? Like, the students will be properly engaged, they will be properly trained, and they will have a good opportunities, and they will be completely knowing, deeply committed to us. Then global certification by IFEES. If we started giving, after this having a proper courses completion and proper programs completion, if IFEES endorses the student through global certifications and have a regular interaction between the students and GEDC and IFEES corporate membership, then a student will be able to have a 360 degree of knowledge from the corporate world and from the GEDC platform, where the students will be able to grow something better and make it very structured. We have many organizations with us, it's like for IFEES and student organizations, but we have to make a chapter which is very active, reactive, and proactive as well, so that the students will be completely engaged throughout the areas. It is very possible, it is not very possible for every organization to engage the students for the repetitive audiences of next version. If something happens and kept down, the next year the students should come back with the idea, with the exhibit model, or with the ideas which proposed as a papers or any instrument to these publications. So if that happens continuously, then that would be amazing. The point of having a gaming in education, this is how we wanted the next generation kids to learn about. Assume this is a game. He will be taught like, what is the goal of this, or what is the goal of this game? Like he or she should do what, and where he should go to the final destination, and what he should achieve. This learning content is nothing about where he should really work on the areas. It's like he should jump where, he should swim where. With this gaming technologies, the technical strategies is like, what is the platforms that we can use for the technology strategies that he should shoot. Take gaming as example, where he should really work on, he really have experience on hands-on experience with the strategies. Then platform, of course, is like a mobile or desktop version, something which is like online or classroom education. And type is multiplayer or single player. That is it is like a team building activity or something around this, like one-to-one study or what. This gaming and education is something which sounds very close and similar. If we able to propose the system something as a student where he knows all these in a deeper contents and he can move a game with a very strategic manner, then the education system is making very simpler. The many comments that comes for the engineering sectors is like, it is a very complex study. What if we make it very simple and deliver to the students that, see, it is very simple. You know the purpose of it. You just learn the contents, what are the technical strategies, and what are the platforms that you can really involve into it, and what are the types of behavior. Then again, upgrade it. Then that becomes a very engageful source for student to go in. AI in classrooms. We are just evolving naturally. We are evolving naturally, which is like using AI students grading, VR learning, and global classroom possibility. So what is this artificial intelligence involved in all these areas? Is it really possible? Let me tell you, one drawback that we have is like, there will be a lag for social interaction between the teacher and the student. Yes, of course. Then what are the other benefits that a student can really get is, a student will be completely immersed in knowing what is their learning motives. So then they will be able to understand it completely. Using learning for students grading will help the students to more accurately know them and help the faculties also to analyze them better. They will be able to learn by doing. They will be able to know the emotional reactions through the outcomes. They will be able to develop their creativity. They will be able to develop the visual learning, which happens through virtual reality learning also. If this is possible, creating a global classroom is possible. If IFEES, GEDC, and ISEE made a success with these possibilities of taking initiatives, the forums will be conducted as global classrooms, which engage the students completely through different programs and different tasks, different challenges, and so on. I also quoted that we require many areas that we want to engage the students. We want to upskill them to become a good leaders, engineers, and moreover, excellent human beings. So the path we chose is something very familiar to everyone. It's like many students are not aware about it, but all the faculties and everyone are getting to know about this sustainable development goals. So these 17 goals, if a student is involved in any one of the project, like take an example as quality education, if a student takes that as a theme and track, and if he starts working on the projects, with the global classrooms. If he takes something as a programs with us and he learns something quickly and he draft a plan and he implements it somewhere in his college or in his classroom and make that as in projects, and then if we able to connect them with the corporate members where they can really make into the a real model with his ideas, then he can make that happen and implement it. So different 17 sectors. So how we are going to achieve this? ISW has initiated a global competition which starts from a different aspect, like from the regional, then zonal level, and then national level and the global level. So the idea behind this is like to take a boot camp or brainstorming sessions or having a forum for one complete day to tell this knowledge about all these areas, and then encourage them to work on the action planning and idea sketching for the next 2 days. Then after that, we will be giving enough number of time for a student with ample sources, ample resources for them to reach and them to analyze and then create a proper business plan, a proper model for implementing their actions, a proper areas where they can get the help from the industries, from the institutions, and make them as a full-time projects or credential subjects into it, which can help them to structure that idea into a prototype where they can take the prototype and come into zonals. So with the zonals, we will be again monitoring them and mentoring them for making that prototypic version converted into a real-time working model in the national areas. Once they come into the national levels with the projects or with the real-time working, that will be endorsed and taken to the global level for our IFEES and GEDC conferences to exhibit among the students, which actually remains as an inspiration for many students to work on those areas. So then, if you go and tell the people to start work to achieve this, you have to get involved in the learning area, then working on the areas and publish the papers, then it becomes a complete engagement for the students with our community to grow to the next level. From starting is like seeing a student, co-student who is of same age, of different country, of learning same discipline of engineering, who works on different aspects of SDG goals, will inspire many students to work on these areas. This will also create people to know the deeper roots of our society. Take example of peace, justice, and strong institutions, or clean water and sanitation. This is actually the need of our. We should work on all these areas. Example, climate change also. If once a student started working on this and being more responsible towards society, he or she will be able to sketch more responsible projects which is environment friendly, which will be able to give them a good upgraded skills. They will be able to connect with the corporate and the institutional academicians and educators. That will create a strong community with us. And if IFEES and GEDC was a platform for the students who comes with an aspirations to achieve this, then I'm sure this is going to engage them for a complete year until they get graduated to the students, and this will help them to be an ambassador and take this for the juniors or for the freshers to the institutions who's coming down, and they will continue this journey again and again. So we will get upgraded and upgraded with the versions of different goals to achieve this, and the students will be properly trained and properly skilled, and the students will be able to properly achieve this goal through a step-by-step manner, and they will be able to find a pathway for their dream to come true. And thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for a fantastic presentation. Lots of great ideas and implementation possibilities and working as a global community. Fantastic. I'd like to hand this over initially to Hans Hoyer, the Secretary General of IFEES, to make a few comments. Hans, come in.
Thank you, Christian.
Hans, come in.
Many thanks, Krishna. ISEE, I appreciate your thoughtful presentation. You're a wonderful example of a young new leader who inspires not only your peers, the young women and men in engineering, but is also asking critical questions of the engineering leaders and professors in India and throughout the world. Keep up the good work, and I certainly, and the IFEES community looks forward to continue working together with you. All the very, very best. Thank you, Krishna.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you.
Ramiro is here, president of IFEES and champion of peace engineering. Ramiro, want to make any comment?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Ramiro.
I see. Brilliant. Excellent. Very timely. This is a call for action. This is something that I want you to participate in, the call to action that I shared with you, that document. There's been many voices that have raised the same issues that you have. It's time to do things. I think this global classroom is something that I think it's doable. This is something that many of our presenters have also mentioned. I think it's time, it's a call for action. I think we have to do things. And like you said, it's about empowering the students. And this is what the IFEES and GEDC is all about. So I really welcome your presentation. It was brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear Ramiro.
Thank you, Ramiro. I'm going to now go to the questions. I encourage people to just jump in there and text some questions, and let's have a discussion going. We've got quite a bit of time to do that. We have Thani, Dr. Thani from India has a couple of very quick comments relevant to the current situation. To do projects to protect ourselves against coronavirus is one of the sustainability development goals now, right? To protect against coronavirus for sustainability. Any thoughts on that?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Aziz.
Krishna, can you come again?
Yeah, the Dr. Thani from Chennai, actually, he's talking about the coronavirus, the current crisis in the world. So this sustainability, how do we work in this space of coronavirus and sustainability, protect against the virus? What are your thoughts?
All right. Yeah, perfect. So starting with this coronavirus, we really don't have medicines for that. Then we're getting into this area of sustainable development goals, like where do we really want to work? It's like on different aspects, like good health and well-being. We're going to concentrate there, because finding a methodology like quarantine and finding a different aspects of social distancing, which we have not experienced previously, was a quick solution that is brought from many governmental organizations and many NGOs as well. Building a projects or something on this is possible with the different aspects. Like you can have a sanitizer pen, which is an idea said by one of the students from India to avoid interaction between the lift and the student. It's like you can see many industries and many homes and many flats have a common lift where many people is getting into that action. So they will be able to press the lift with their bare hands, and there is a possibility for getting spreaded with the virus and lot many. So there is a person who come with an idea for sanitizer pen, which everyone can use it very simply, which to press the lift buttons and work on it. So there are a lot many simple ideas like this, which is possible. Hopefully, if we can work on a problem statement, then there will be a solution which is brought to it. Not completely, but segment by segment, we can cover it.
Here's a comment from a question about how do you protect students from corrupt faculty? That's interesting. Go ahead.
Corrupt faculty.
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that something you want to talk about, or you can just skip that if you want?
Well, the student should not just get beyond into this institutions or something. So why we are talking these many aspects to get into professional bodies, something like IFEES, GEDC, and have to gain more knowledge, something out of the box. So that is the purpose of us not to have the students just with the institutions. So anyhow, the student has to go finally to the institution and have to have interaction with the students. That is perfectly fine. But he or she should have the leadership skills to how politely to go further for it. Like any faculties in India or something around, like maybe this word is corrupt or something more peculiar, but still, it's like he or she should be very tactical and strategically think forward to make us a good leader. Maybe that will be doing an initial status.
So nowadays, students are attending class physically, not mentally. How do you fix that problem? Dr. Anil Vanre says.
Okay, students are attending physically and mentally. You know what? Like
not
there is a lot of not mentally. Yeah, like there are a lot many issues that happens in India. To a reason now, it's like even students are not attending physically, which makes to the admission what they call attendance laws and attendance crisis also, which is happening. Students has to be concentrated on two different aspects. One is like they really wanted to know what they really want. It is a responsibility of a faculty and a student, of course, parents, to know and teach them what they really want. But it is more faculty oriented to tell them what they really want from faculty, what they really can extract from the faculty, and what this course is all about, and how effectively this can be built further. Unless if a student knows that you have an answer for his question, it will not be easy for any faculty to deliver the answer. Like take an example, if someone asks me a question, I'll be able to answer it. Though it is right or wrong, only then if I ask you a question, we will be able to get the answer. So that is how the students should also be taught. Like he should also trained in a way that I have the answer for your question, go forward and ask me. We have to engage on them. And of course, this technology is getting upgraded, and the possibilities and students' diversion factor is also getting increased. You know, like in any institutions, you can concentrate. Many Indian professors and many Indian faculties will have a common complaint, say like he will be coming to the class and he will be using mobile phones in the classrooms and he will not be attentive. That is a common comment any Indian faculty can put on a student. Yes, that's true, because he has a lot many diversion factors. But beyond that, how he can hold up the student and get the attention through different innovative technologies and different teaching methods, where he can be attracted towards that learning and teaching methods, may be one of the reasons that he can progressively make a student to get involved into it, than going and training.
Yeah, here's a question that might directly be related to IFEES. Rakesh Sharma is talking about how to get affiliated with IFEES, and are there student chapters possible? You might want, you have experience in that, you might want to elaborate on that area.
Student organizations affiliation, is that right?
How to get affiliated to IFEES, and are there student chapters for IFEES?
Okay, yeah. So IFEES are different.
Hans can also jump into that. Maybe that's something that Hans also can comment on. But go ahead first, Aziz first, and then Hans. Yeah.
Okay. So IFEES have different student organizations called Speed is there, Best is there, Scale was there, EWB was there, ISEE is there. So so many student bodies are working with IFEES. Like for getting into the IFEES for student membership is absolutely free, and any student body can work with IFEES. And if any institution wants to work with the student organizations of IFEES, that one of the student leaders should be identified and can be connected with any of the student organizations through IFEES or through any of the presidents, which we have the representatives for each and every student organizations, which you can see in the website membership of IFEES. Like that will be representatives. You can contact them and get a direct interaction, and you can introduce a student leader from the institution so that the work starts from there. Is my comment. Hans, you can add to it.
Hans, do you want to add anything? How can students get
absolutely. I very much appreciate the question, and perhaps also our IFEES president would like to comment. In essence, ever since we formed IFEES in Brazil in 2006, students have been part of our global and regional and countrywide activities. So the student participation and engagement is very critical and has been a wonderful journey of the IFEES community. For example, we had some students that participated very thoughtfully in our events over 10 years ago. And now they are professors, they are industry and representing a variety of professions in the different continents of the world. So it's been a wonderful journey to work with, to mentor, to support, and also learn from our students. That's a very fundamental element, is that faculty members and academicians are not the only one with wisdoms. We've learned in IFEES, given the dynamic creativity and enthusiasm and diversity of our students, they ask fundamentally important questions. And a very critical thing is also our deep commitment in the IFEES and GEDC community to identify women, young women leaders to engage. So please get in touch with me, write to me, look at our website. You'll see the different activities, names of the different organizations. And we will work with you to engage you in a more deeper, meaningful way. Thank you.
Okay, great. Nabil is not there but to comment on, but I think we have, let's see, Aliki has a comment actually. I'm going to read out what Aliki is saying. And Manivannan has joined us. Manivannan, can you jump in?
Yeah, thank you, Hans. Thank you, Krishna, and wonderful talk given by Aziz. In fact, the future is belongs to the students, and where you have to empower the students, what our IFEES President Romaria said, right? And it's the right time. And in fact, we have to promote the so-called the student chapters of IFEES. Already we have got scale is there, iScale is there, speed is there, and we have to make use of those students organization. Or if Anne says that if you want to have a separate IFEES student chapter in each and every country, we can go for it, because it's the right time, because a lot of challenges are there and a lot of avenues are there for us to explore. I think in this particular moment, this particular what's called that presentation is given by Aziz is right time, and we have to do a lot of things, and we need a lot of coordinations. We need students, leaders like Aziz from each and every region has to coordinate and come with a lot of ideas that has to be integrated under the platform of IFEES and GEDC. Let us move forward and do something for the society.
Okay, thank you, Mani. I'm going to read out a comment from Aliki from IFEES GEDC for Aziz. Question: can Aziz comment on what responsibilities fall upon the student to engage and self-start during these trying times, considering many institutions do not have the capacity for remote learning? Does Aziz feel students should utilize platforms such as IUC, IFEES webinar series, or other online tools, YouTube, Learn, while also depending on institutions for education? So that is a long question, but I think you get the idea. Go ahead, Aziz.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Alki, for this question. It's like, lot many students are not able to access remotely, and they are not given still provided with the good internet connections in lot many places of the world. They were not get connected because of cost involvement, and lot many factors get involved. The point of having a student chapters across the country is to connect them in different modes through regional levels, to getting breakdowns into institution levels. It is a process for a student to go as an ambassador for another college or institution and empower or equip the student with that practice, like how to go further with this institution. It's like the VR, the remote learning will evolve naturally. On the time depends. Like, see, previously in India, take example, we have never faced a complete structure of Google Classrooms for a complete day. But because of this pandemic, which make a demand for people to go into this online learning, and many institutions have started doing online learning, and it is on the process. So it has been started, and the faculties and the students got involved into these areas. Then the recorded sessions, as like Krishna say, as like there are a lot many tools that students are often, and like everyone will get access to those mobile phones and gadgets, so that it is possible for everyone to get involved in a global manner, to connect with webinars and YouTubes. A lot many tools are possible for the students to get involved, and also the student leaders chapters.
Very good. Thani is very actively sending a lot of text messages, but giving suggestions about how to develop quality circles, encourage self-directed learning. Thank you, Thani. Lots of good ideas. I'll put them on the website. Encourage interdisciplinary program. Encourage motivation, share gains, encourage self-evaluation, and including ethics, etc. So thank you for all your wonderful suggestions, Thani. I appreciate that. We have another comment here about what is better, online class education or face-to-face physical classroom? Or is quality education possible, with online classroom or physical classroom?
Yeah, so we can really get to the comment previously, which happens is like students are physically present and mentally absent is a comment from one of the faculties also. So it is not that a student's power or the productiveness that happens through online or remote classroom sessions. Of course, remote classroom sessions are effective because it has interaction, but no way it is like an AI involved classroom or VR involved classrooms are lesser than that, because you can take an examples of Mica, ThinkMaster Math, Thinkster Math, Brainly. These are different AI classrooms available across the globe where we will fail that the remote classrooms are better than online, because the interactions that we have and the learning by doing, everything sounds awesome. The only point is like we don't have the proper access and we don't get into the proper connectivity and we are not used to it. Yes, of course, the AI and VR learning involves a high cost, but if something is demand is more in number, the cost will get reduced by itself. And I will tell you, it's like by online learning, on online interactions through students face to face, you will be able to monitor each and every one of them very keenly than the classroom sector of education. If a classroom sector of education is like a 10 to 1 teacher, then it is fine. If 60 is to 1, then I believe this online is perfect tool, because they will be able to learn by doing and they will be able to develop creativity. And visual learning is always make the students to get connected and think more in number,
Okay, here's a suggestion from Klaus Hengsbach. It says give online courses to students from industry side. Is it allowed and interesting for universities? And if yes, how can we start such activities?
Yeah, the point of the presentation is to involve the faculties and the corporate members into the life of students in the day-to-day life, so that they will be able to know the industry readiness in all these areas. So once when IFEES and GEDC, we are equipping ourselves. So once we are ready to make this Google Classrooms possible, yes, of course, we will be able to engage this classrooms with the corporate members, and they will be able to tell what is the task that we can really do and what are the problems that they really face, and students can really pass on that.
Let me, Krishna, let me just, I appreciate Klaus's question. Klaus, herzliche Grüße. This is Hans here. Let us be in touch and find ways in the work that you're doing. We can help you connect with students and our global community. I think they would be very interested and learn from, as well as you will benefit in a reciprocal way from that. Let us stay in touch and continue this dialogue, Klaus. Many, many thanks for joining us.
Very good. So I guess there's one more question about faculty. How can they get involved with IFEES GEDC? Any thoughts on that? How faculty? I mean, that maybe Hans can answer that. Individual faculty, many of them on this on this call, they want to get involved with IFEES and GEDC. How can they get involved?
My good friend Ramiro may want to comment. Certainly,
he was he is chatting. He had to leave, so
okay. Well, absolutely. IFEES and GEDC, particularly IFEES, who works most closely and has many student members, facilitates many kinds of events in close partnership with friends and colleagues in all 6 continents per se. So let us find ways to work together in a creative way moving forward here. Just write to me, and I will facilitate some direct connections with some of the leaders of the IFEES community. Okay.
So Ramiro is back. So Ramiro, come in. Your internet.
Also, just to add, just to add over there.
Go ahead.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just to add on to that is like student organizations, you can take example of ISEE. So we have a separate body for the faculties which wants to work with IFEES and other communities to serve students and mentor students across the globe. They are invited because the global classrooms are possible only if we have the faculties across the globe and give their experience to the students who are from the other parts of the world also. So any faculties or someone who's committed or dedicated towards IFEES, then we will be happy to have them on board with the ISEE also to serve the students better in our side. Thank you.
So we'll let Ramiro have the last word here, and then we can wind up. Go ahead, Ramiro.
Yes, thank you, Krishna. I think this is a great opportunity to launch and start thinking about this global classroom. I want to congratulate Krishna for initiating us through the webinars and leading us into this global classroom platform. And it's crucial that industry be involved, of course, as well as academia. We need to collaborate because we need to create now new content. The old content has stopped. The world has changed. There's a reset. We need to now create new content to address the global challenges. And it has to be a partnership of many, many organizations. Of course, industry, academia, government agencies, multilateral organizations, and of course, a lot of student representations through their different organizations. So I think we need to think about this, and I think IFEES and GEDC can help in this new ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramiro. So let us have some final comments from Aziz and maybe Hans. Aziz, we'll wind up.
Yeah.
Final comment.
So these are the areas that we are trying to work for upskilling and engaging the students for the next one year down. So this is the areas that we are looking forward to work. So any faculties who's interested to be on board with these writers, so that we'll be able to engage them, and happy to have them on board with us to connect them. So also it's like all of you stay safe, and let us pray this globe to be very in a safe hands and recover from this pandemic issues. My prayers. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Aziz, very much, and Ramiro for those thoughtful comments. One of I think the very critical one I'm building again in Krishna, we deeply value the initiative that through IUCE and that we've built on it per se has taken, is that we are consciously reaching out, underlining the fundamental importance that we are a global community working in 6 continents. So it's brilliant to have a key student leader from India make this very thoughtful presentation. We have leaders from other parts of India. We deeply value my friend Mani is here in North America. From my perspective, we need to build on that and include and bring in student leaders, faculty leaders, academic leaders, and corporate, as Ramiro articulated, to participate in this. And I'm reaching out to leaders in all of the continents, and they're interested. Just this morning, I received 3 emails from leaders in China. They want to participate in terms of what we're doing, both corporate and academic. So we have an exciting opportunity to connect the community in a more creative, dynamic, and sensitive way moving forward, Krishna. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Hans, and thank you, everybody, for joining us for the very interesting webinar. And let's keep going. Let's just be safe, happy, and healthy. Everybody, go back to what you were doing. Good night, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is for you.
Thank you.